Hey guys.
everyone, happy Thursday.
Yeah, how are y'all doing? Been a long week, long time, right?
Right, for sure.
All right. So let's just jump right into this, shall we?
Right.
All right.
Talking about love, trust, and boundaries, defending against manipulation. As you know, I talked last week about, dominion is not the same thing as domination. So now we're moving into that because manipulation is a
A form of
a
domination.
form of domination. And if you don't agree with that, look it up. But but it's the truth. So let's just hit into it because I know your time is valuable and you want to keep it short and sweet. So so here we go.
So what is manipulation? Manipulation is what? Basically, somebody's getting somebody else to do something they really don't want to do, or making them feel a certain way to get them to do something. That's manipulation.
Mm-hmm.
That's the short and sweet, cut and dry of it all.
Right.
So if you understand that, and you look at what's going on, you could see, oh, wait a minute. They want me to do this, but they make me feel like crap until I do it.
Right.
So that's manipulation.
Right. That's one form of it.
Right.
And knowing what signs to look for also for manipulation is key. I mean, if you don't know what signs to look for, you're going to get manipulated.
Right.
Some of those is like they put guilt trips, they gaslight you.
Yeah.
So those are just two things, and I'm sure there's some more.
Or they gaslighting. I guess they keep things away from you, or they just give you a little bit to make you want it. So it's like the carrot in front of the horse.
Right.
Type deal.
That's not gaslighting. That's something else.
Right. But that's manipulation.
Yeah.
Because you're manipulating the horse to move.
Well, I'll give you this.
Right.
You can do this, but you got to do this.
Right. So like if you do this for me, I'll let you have this, or I'll give you this to you.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean that's manipulation, and that's not fair, and it's not right. And so if you understand some of those signs, you see it now. If you have been in a manipulative relationship, you're going to see it easy.
Right.
Unless you've been. I mean now. There was a time because I came out of a bad relationship. We both have. That's why we have the platform to speak on it. Like for me, the manipulation, I was thoroughly mind screwed over. Okay. I was manipulated. I was gaslighted. I was everything in the book. Okay.
Right.
So, and that took a long time. And sometimes I still fight it. I mean, that's the reality. Sometimes it's hard to come out of when you've been so abused in the mind,
right.
Through manipulation, through gaslighting, through whatever.
Or even passive aggressiveness.
Or even passive aggressive. That is a form of manipulation as well. So let's be real. So don't beat yourself up if you're like, man, I got manipulated again. But no, understand and move on. It's like, okay, now I understand that. Now I know how to not happen again. So don't let it get you down.
Right.
That's what we're here for, to reveal things and help you walk through them and know that we've already been through that.
Right.
So.
I mean, that's what family's for, right? Help each other out.
Right.
And just because we're not blood doesn't mean we're not family.
Right.
We're all family.
Right. So knowing that, things like that, that's not real love to anyone.
Right.
That's not what real love is. So.
All right. Let's move on to a little bit here.
What is love?
Right.
The role of it, as opposed,
well,
because it can make you vulnerable to being manipulated because you love the person, you want to do what you can for them, so
right.
you start again. There comes the cycle. You gotta watch it.
But it's not really. It's how you ask the person to do something, or agree to do stuff. It's not the manipulation part. It's that's where the manipulation comes into. Is how it's being asked or how it's being presented.
Mm.
So, like for us, I asked Kathy, like, can you do this for me? If not, that's cool. I'll do it myself. But I asked her to do it because she wants to. If she doesn't want to, then that's cool.
Right.
If she says no, okay, no big deal. I'll do it myself.
Right.
Because everything in the house, I can do myself. Everything else she can do herself. We chose to come together and work it together.
Right.
So
that's a key element right there as well. Even you choose your partner and you choose to come together as one, you're married, whatever, and you choose to work together, then manipulation does not have any place. However, there is manipulation sometimes, so that's why we're trying to show you,
right.
you know, we're in a different place at this point. So yes, when you ask, I'm going to want to, you're not manipulating, you're not telling me what to do. If I ever thought you were manipulating me and vice versa, we would tell them where to go. I mean, let's be real. Okay.
Right.
So,
right.
Yes, but what it should look like is the courtesy to, hey, can you do this for me while I'm doing this? Can you do this or whatever? Or, hey, I'm at work. Can you do this? Or
right.
that kind of thing.
Well,
that's not manipulation.
Like today, I'm building a tool shed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm at work. The company that we get the metal from closes at like 4:30. I don't get off in time to get from the work to get there
Mm-hmm.
to get the stuff I want. So I just ask, hey, can you go down and check this out, or see if they have this in stock so we can get it, or we need to wait and see what needs to happen.
Right.
It's just that simple.
Right. So we worked it through.
Right.
So,
and I'm not, if she didn't get it done or whatever, I'm not sitting there belittling her, making her feel bad for not getting it done.
Right. Because there's the manipulation again.
Right.
You're making me feel bad because I didn't do something, blah, blah, blah. So, one thing that we probably want to emphasize, I'm following notes here to keep us on track.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with that, guys. Like we were talking, loving the person sometimes to make us vulnerable to being manipulated again or whatever. But so we talked to that. The next step is we need to know the importance that we love ourselves and we have self-respect for ourselves so we can maintain those healthy boundaries.
Right.
Because if we don't have that, then again, you're going to get manipulated. So if you don't love yourself, you don't respect yourself enough to stand up and go, no, I can't, but I can do that. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, because there's things that, because if you're with each other long enough, my brain's going a million miles an hour
Right.
again. You know what each of you can do and can't do. So, like, I'm not going to ask her to go out there and build a deck for me. She can't do it. She can probably try. She might get pretty good with it, but she doesn't have the physical and the
Understanding how to do it.
Right,
There's no way I can
Right.
make a deck. I'm sorry. That's just not me.
but I can do it in probably a couple of days.
I'm not the builder.
Right. But that's all right.
But there are some women that can do it and
Right.
build it, and they like to do things like that because they like to work with their hands.
Right. And that's awesome. Nothing wrong with it.
Different skill sets here.
Right. Right. So keep each other in mind for each of their skill sets. And so that's how you get things done. If you know they can't
Right.
get something done, you don't ask them to do it. You do it yourself.
Right. Well, the other thing, again, talking about self-love, self-respect, and whatever, I know there are women out there that actually work a job outside of the home.
Oh, yeah.
And then they come home and they're expected to do all this other crap too with, so that's where, there's your boundaries. So you're not being manipulated into doing, two things that two people can work together and to get done. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Well, it's like both of you are out working, both of you come home, everything's shared.
Right.
50-50. Actually, wait a minute, let me rephrase that. It's 100.
100. Yeah, we did
Right.
If you want to know about the 100 and 100, they have a video on that as well.
Right.
Go check it out.
So that way, your guys were equal on it. There's no me and you, it's us.
Right.
Even if the woman's out working, or say Kathy's working full time, and I'm at home, guess what? I'm Mr. Mom. Don't bother me none.
Right.
Don't bother me none at all. I'll take care of the house. I take care of the kids. I take care of all the stuff. I do what needs to
I
happen.
think a lot of the cases, though, right now, what we're experiencing is that most people have two jobs. I mean, the couple is both working outside the home,
Mhm.
whether it's full-time or part-time. What you don't want is, to come home and be forced to have to do it all,
Right.
you
Come home, clean, cook, take care of the kids.
right.
Here's the kids. I'm leaving for an hour. It's like,
And then feel guilty because you really don't want to.
right,
I mean, that's manipulation too.
right.
Making you feel guilty because you should have had this done earlier. Like, really?
When really, because if you think about it,
Yeah.
that's why most families have set bedtimes, because when you get home, you both take care of the kids, you both take care of the
Mhm.
stuff, and then at 8:30, 9 o'clock, kids go to bed. Well, guess what? That means an hour, hour and a half, or 2 hours that it's you and your wife.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you guys reconnect with each other.
Right.
That's the whole point of putting bedtimes on kids. So you guys have your time,
Right. And that's a whole nother topic.
right?
So, like I said, those boundaries and understanding and knowing. But again, with love and having the love, we also got to build the trust.
Right. Well,
And
that
we built
trust always
trust.
comes with time. Trust and
Right,
time is
but manipulation.
We'll start with T, right?
Right. But manipulation will rust and erode the trust.
Right. Oh, quickly.
Over time and quickly too. So when you had the manipulation, you got to rebuild that trust. So how would we rebuild that trust there?
Well, you call each other out on what's happening, and then you work with that. You work within that situation. And say,
Mhm.
hey, no. Then you have to build the trust back. Oh, okay, so I see you trying to do this.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, I trying to manipulate you, but I need to try to get this done. So can you do it for me?
Mhm.
Again, that's borderline manipulation. But you have to. But it comes back in. But that circles back around into the love and trust.
You got to build it back up.
Right.
And again, you probably need to restate your boundaries of this is who I am, this is who I'm capable of, this is what I can do. You need to help, or you need to help, or
Right. But you also it always boils down to how it's being asked and how it's being done.
Mm-hmm.
So that way you both are happy with what's going on and understanding it's not manipulating, it's just a matter of helping each other out.
Right. So that moves into boundaries and their importance, explaining the concept of, setting up that communication of communicating the boundaries of what you guys want for each other.
Right. Well,
and how you're treated each other as well.
A lot of times it's going to be just more just sitting down and talking with each other and saying, hey, I'm comfortable doing this, or I'm doing this.
Right.
But
and it doesn't have to be an argument, because I think some people get into arguments over stuff like this.
Oh, sure.
And then they feel,
Well, they get over arguments and money. Money is nothing but an object.
Right. But yeah, so calmly, so if it gets heated, so what? But I mean, you got to be, again, there's that self-love, self-respect, trusting your partner is not going to hurt you,
Right.
Again, you're trying to come out of a manipulation type thing. You don't want to be manipulated, and the person shouldn't be manipulating you.
Right. So, but if he can't meet those trusts, he can't meet those self-loves and helping each other out.
Mm-hmm.
It's always that manipulation. It's always that you do this or else. Then why are you together?
Right. So maybe we can give them, a couple keys or a couple tips on setting and communicating that boundary effectively. It's a good way to do that.
Well, it's more like when it happens, you need to call it. It's like
not put it. And you're right. I think about that is like you let it go and you let it go,
right.
and then it becomes a manipulation problem.
Right. It's like the straw that broke the camel's back.
And then the arguments and the hurt and all of that come out.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So when it happens, say, oh, wait a minute, can you rephrase that? And they're like, no. Then you're like, well, this is how you're making me feel. Again, it's that communication.
Right.
This is how you're making me feel. I don't think it needs to happen this way. So you got to step up, put that wall up for a second, say, hey, whoa, hold up.
Mm-hmm.
Bounce that ball a minute. Let's sit back and let's talk about this for a second.
Mm-hmm. So, what would you say a red flag for recognizing the manipulation would be?
Well, that's kind of hard one because each person's a little different. So you're looking at maybe tones, how it's done, the antic of how it's being presented to you,
Mm-hmm.
and then the follow through of it being done or not done and how they react to that.
Okay.
So you can even
Mhm.
test it with people. I've done it many times, even at work, I do it to people.
Oh, so I mean, and again, trust your instincts as well.
Oh, yeah.
If you got a gut feeling that it's like, oh, wait a minute, something's not right here.
Right.
Then listen to those instincts. That God gave it to us for a reason.
Right.
To help us, right?
Like we have friends that wanted tickets. He was at work. She wasn't. She was supposed to get the tickets. It didn't happen, and he threw a fit about it. It's like, but why are you doing that? You could have called on your break or afterwards and say, hey, we need this done. There's no need of manipulating the person, make them feel bad for not getting something done.
Right.
When
Right.
You have 2 hands and 2 eyes and 2 ears and a mouth, right? Dial that phone yourself. You have to.
For
Or
sure.
or if you think they forgot on your lunch break, say, hey, babe, did you by chance call those tickets because this is the last day to get them? They don't have time to do it during work.
Right. There's always better ways to handle it.
Right.
For sure. So
And it's like this: if you don't get them, well, not time to go.
don't be afraid. So, kind of defending against the manipulation. Stand up for yourself.
Right.
Don't have that assertiveness, that self-care, that self-love for yourself to be respected.
Right.
When if you feel like, something,
Well, everybody has that gut feeling in their stomach.
Right.
If something's right, if something's wrong. If something
or
that
you didn't feel like you were being treated appropriately.
right. Or here's another red flag too: is like if you are asked to do something and you don't do it, and you feel like if I don't get it done, they're going to yell at me. That's because you've been abused way too long.
Right, that's a big red flag. Oh, if I don't get this done, I'm going to get yelled at or whatever.
Right.
That's not an okay feeling, and you need to check that.
Right. And like we were just talking about this a few minutes ago, is she'd make the bed, and her ex would come and rip it apart and remake it because it's about control and about manipulation.
Right.
Like,
so if you're in any situation like that, we're here to help.
right.
We can always direct you to someone, even a professional, but we are here to help to get you through that because we've already been through it for sure.
Right.
So, we just want to make sure that, that there's love, trust, and respect in a relationship, not manipulation. And so we hope that this helped you. If you guys have any comments or whatever, pop them down below. We'd like to hear if you want to hear more on these types of things.
Right.
We'd love to hear about it. But I think we should wrap it up. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
No.
Nope. Awesome. All right. So we'll see you this time next week again.
Bye, guys. Have
Bye,
fun.
guys.